It's fun, and I love money. I can only repeat that on this podcast. I really enjoy it.
Said it like the fifth time now.
Yeah.
I love money.
I love money.
It's so nice what you, or at least what you can do with it, or the freedom it gives you. But since it is not so much in the center, ironically enough, I feel it's coming. All right.
Welcome to the podcast.
Perfect start. So what are we talking about, Sina?
Money.
Money.
Today we talk about money.
Yes.
So I'll go.
Intro song first.
Yeah. Sina, you give us the honor.
No, Danny.
Okay.
It's his turn today.
This is the
Business podcast. Live.
Perfect. All right. Welcome.
Good one, no?
It's not
It's
bad.
always a little bit awkward. It's good. It was one of the better ones.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode. Today we're talking, as Sina already mentioned, about money, and especially what it means to us, because we haven't had this conversation in full yet. So we thought, why not do it live? And it was the idea was kind of sparked. But first, I listened to a podcast by Rami Sethi. I'm sure I'm butchering his name. He wrote a book, I'll Teach You to Be Rich. And he talked about the importance in private partnerships to talk about money. And that he actually kind of always said that it's so important to talk about your finances, but he didn't do it in his own relationship, and then saw the negative effects of that later on. And it helped so much to do that. And since we're already if you check out another episode of ours, we talked about the fact that I think it's episode 9, we talked about that we run our company like a family. We thought like, all right, so we have to have this conversation as well. So maybe we can start with letting each other know and letting the people know what money means to us or what it stands for. Who would like to start?
Sina.
Sina wants to start.
What money means to me? Good question. Money for me, and it sounds so cheesy, money means opportunity and safety in a way. And I know, like, I feel more relaxed when I know I have enough that I can afford the necessary things in life.
What are necessary things for you?
Like having a roof over my head and being able to buy food that I like. Paying my bills, like for insurance. So things like this. And I feel even better if I can then also buy things I would enjoy having, like technical stuff or clothes or whatever it is. Or most importantly, well, for me is traveling. But I'm very used to travel on low budget, so that's also okay for me. And I quite enjoy it. They say, or at least somebody told me when I was a student, and I was traveling and spending all the money I had on traveling, somebody said, oh yeah, traveling is the only thing you spend money on and you get richer, like rich in experience. So I think money can provide that. I don't know. I want to hear you guys first before I share how my relationship to money changed. Because I live in Switzerland now. Of course, it changed.
You are in Germany for the people who are listening.
Yes, it's not a poor country either. But still, my relationship with money changed. But what is money for you guys? What does it mean for you, Dani?
I have a weird relationship to money. I think I grew up in a household where money was always sort of important, and it always meant like the more money you earn, the better work you do, stuff like that. There was like a very clear correlation between earning money and how good of a person you are, which is sort of weird. But okay, it's nice. And now for me is money is always a topic when there is not enough there.
Yeah.
So I try to avoid talking about money, and because whenever I don't have to talk about it, then it's not a topic within my head, and then it's good. So I always try to earn as much so I don't have to talk about it.
I have that too.
It's sort of like when it's like below a certain amount, then it's a topic in my head, and then it's also a little bit nagging in my head. So
do you get nervous?
I'm not really getting nervous because, to be honest, we're in Switzerland and there are so many safety nets around us. So you won't be hungry. And I mean, especially for us, there are also like relationships and parents and people around you and the family. And it's like the chances that I won't have any money and I can't buy food is zero. And that is like a safety net I think we can't really imagine how fortunate we are to have that safety net around us.
Agreed. Yeah.
And also, it's a funny thing with money. It's a very emotional topic. I mean, if someone, for example, tries to haggle me down so they don't have to pay me, then it's very quickly to get very emotional about for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still like I can really feel that appreciation thing is very strongly linked to money.
Yeah.
And I don't want that, but I can't avoid that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How's it for you?
Money for me also is very strongly linked. So I was looking it's interesting that we never had an explicit discussion about it, but I feel there is a lot of overlap.
Yeah.
So let's start with you, Sina. Like money for me is freedom. You said opportunity freedom is very close. Yeah. And so since I am very much looking for a lifestyle that is not location dependent, money enables me, as you said, to travel. And the next step for me is also what I'm planning in my head, also with my girlfriend, is like being somewhere else for a while, not the whole year, but at least a couple of months every year. I can imagine to be somewhere else. And so money is a tool to do that and not stress out about it a little bit. On another level, when I'm very present, I see that money is a thought. So it's a lot in my head. Like the 80% of the thing is just it's a thought construct, and we don't have to go too deep into that. But that's also something that I sometimes think it's just like it's a number, and we see that a lot with clients. Also, like sometimes with some clients, like money is really like not an issue, even though they maybe don't have so much, than with some who have a lot. So it's not correlated necessarily with how much our clients make on how much they are actually haggling about the price. So that's also something interesting, but it's off topic. But anyways, and money for me means also appreciation. So I really connect with what you said, Daniel. So also in relationships, actually, when somebody, I have not a big, like I have this provider thing. So I want to pay first, but if somebody pays for me, and like, no, I will do it. I'll take care of this. And I'm like, no, it's fine. No, for sure. It gives me a good feeling, like kind of like, okay, we have a similar view of like that it is something that even if we maybe don't have it in the moment, but we see it as something abundant. And I really like that. I really like generous people because I imagine to be sometimes also quite generous. And I enjoy doing that. And I felt that's actually one of the core things why I was impressed by you, Daniel, but also with you, because it was never in the center of things. So money is not, with the work we do, it's not in the center. It's fun, and I love money. I can only repeat that on this podcast. I really enjoy it.
Said it like the fifth time now.
Yeah.
I love money.
It's so nice what you, or at least what you can do with it, or the freedom it gives you. but since it is not so much in the center, ironically enough, I feel it's coming. And it's growing for us, and that is a very nice feeling. But what is your biggest fear with money? That will be interesting too. So I think for me also, it's like, again, it's like kind of freedom, and the other thing I said is appreciation. But what's the biggest fear you guys think you have with money?
I have many fears related to money, because the way I grew up was a lot about, like, you know, my parents, they were students. We lived in a small place.
In Eastern Germany. It's maybe an interesting...
In Eastern Germany. In a small place with many kids and 2 dogs and stuff like that. And we always had to share everything. And also we couldn't go, like, we didn't have money to go to ski camp, for example. When the school was asking us, oh, you can sign up for ski camp. We knew we were the kids who couldn't go. Like, in this sense, I felt like a little bit, I don't know, our other kids got for Easter present, they got a bike, for example. And as a kid, I didn't really appreciate the money topic. I was like, we don't have it, it sucks. I hate money. I hate it. It was more kind of a source of frustration. What I didn't know, of course, as a kid, is all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So the struggles the parents have to actually have enough to afford food and clothing, and all the little adventures we did, like going to the lake for swimming, buying lunch for all the kids there, for example. And now I see that. As a kid, I was like, oh, money sucks. If we don't have it, it's always trouble. And also, like, still in my family, there's a lot of conflicts about money. Like, it's a topic people don't really talk about, but when they do, it's a topic of, it usually causes a fight of where the money is spent on. And everything is always too expensive. Even though it's not, or even though now, like now it's good. My parents, like, since all the kids moved out, they can also buy things for themselves and renovate the house and things like this. So all good now. But back in the days, money was more like a base of frustration, kind of. So fears that I have related to money is that it causes conflicts. And I don't like conflicts. If you know me, I'm more of the harmony kind of person. And also, like, I'm also scared if I earn too much money, that I put so much value into this that I don't live up to the expectation that I put on myself of, oh, if they pay this much money, I need to be this good, for example. So in my job, I always thought I'm not worth a certain amount of money. I'm still not sure where to put the exact amount of money. Or can I charge this? Is this okay? So I'm learning a lot from you guys about this. And another fear is if I had a lot of money and would invest in a house, for example, I would be scared of being judged by I don't know, by people I grew up with who don't have as much money or wouldn't invest, for example. I also didn't know that you could invest money when I was younger. I only learned when I moved away from home that there's actually ways of making money work for you. Yeah. So I read a book on this. It's called Poor Dad, Rich Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad,
or this way. It's really interesting. Where there's a guy talking about he has kind of like 2 dads and how different they deal with money.
Yeah.
And that's really eye-opening. It's super interesting to just tune in and see where you relate with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do have some fears. And the fear of safety or losing freedom comes only when I check my balance and don't have enough money. But also, like, moving away from Germany and having a different currency helped me to lose my close relationship to money. To just see a number on the cashier and just giving colorful paper to them. I'm like, okay, that's it. All right, bye. So I don't put so much emotion into money anymore.
Yeah.
even though it sounded all very emotional, but now it's a more relaxed relationship to money. It's not emotionally loaded. Like, oh no, this is so much, I'm gonna die. It's more like, okay, you say a number and I give you the colorful paper and then we're good.
Yeah.
That's fine.
And like, because from outside, I have a feeling like when we met for the first time to you coming to Switzerland, and now this relationship with money has changed. You said one thing that helped maybe is the currency. And how else can you see that your relationship has changed?
I'm much more giving. I don't need to hold on to it as much anymore, because the way I grew up is if you have money, you need to save it.
Yeah.
I don't have the urge to save money. I rather, and this is what I learned in Switzerland. Of course, there's many people saving money, but also people enjoy life more. I feel like that's my perception, more than in Germany. They like buy themselves this nice cappuccino and invite their friends for it because they're having a great time doing that. And I feel like this is how it changed, because the more I earn, the more I also love to give and invite my friends, just because I genuinely enjoy it. So the enjoyment kind of changed.
Yeah. I feel the environment has, like, even though it comes from the inside, I mean, in every environment, you always see people who have an abundant and who have a scarce mindset when it comes to money. Everywhere is crazy. But I saw that, I felt this difference when I was in Berlin. I loved the city of Berlin. I mean, I rented an apartment unsuccessfully, didn't do anything there, came back again. But that was my dream, and so I tried it, but I just didn't feel right to really live in Berlin, and I also didn't put the effort in enough. But again, it didn't feel right. That's why I didn't put the effort in, probably. But nevertheless, what I felt there is the conversations are often going around money, but it's always negative, and the fact that you don't have it, which is like, of course, it's understandable. Like, a lot of people are kind of challenged there to make a buck. Like, that's a lot. And I felt like this is not healthy for me to hang out in this mindset. And I'm sure, like, within subgroups and so, it's a huge city, it's a huge generalization, but that's just like how it felt like. And that's why I love to do business in Switzerland, is because or just be in a business mindset in Switzerland here. I feel, yes, we are not the most innovative sometimes. Innovative might be the innovative, yes, but
edgy, right?
Not edgy, not like adventurous kind of. It doesn't feel. In Luzerne, there's no Silicon Valley mindset, I would say. Like, not so much, you know. I feel oftentimes people look even at us like, oh my God, how can you live with this amount of uncertainty in your life? And like, this is strange, but people are curious. Yeah. But nevertheless, it's certainly not Silicon Valley, the Silicon Valley mindset that is here. But it's also not I feel it's also not necessarily a scarcity mindset, and I really enjoy that. So, like, you can just, as you said, people enjoy life, and not lavishly, I feel, but they go to restaurants, they go for a hike.
I love seeing that here. Or you go, like here, you went skiing for the first time with you, Daniel. Daniel taught me skiing. Very grateful. And skiing is quite expensive if you don't have the equipment, for example, and you need to rent it. But people are doing that because they enjoy a very nice day in the mountains, and it's worth all the money just to have this experience. And that's something I learned here in Switzerland. I didn't do stuff like this before, like going crazy for one day or just enjoying this day and not worrying about the money.
Or drinking a bottle of wine in restaurants.
It's so nice, though.
It's very, very common here.
And it's not like a posh kind of lifestyle or whatever. It's more like you see families doing that, and that is so nice.
And if you buy something for yourself, you're a little bit like passive in terms of you don't tell your friends how much you actually spent. You don't tell your friends how much your car was. It's like everything is a little bit, you keep it for yourself. I think that's very Swiss.
Yeah. Yeah, there's positives and negatives to it, but that's another
But
conversation.
it changed. I feel like whenever, like, you don't have to go to Switzerland, but whenever you go and change the environment, you, like, everything you know until then is being shaken up. And then you find your own way of dealing with it.
Yeah.
And this is maybe why my money mindset got shaken up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how much money is enough? Like, when would you say, like, what income, let's go really, like, what income would you say do you need to feel like, oh, I've got enough money?
Like in Switzerland, in like the environment we're living in, I think it should be around 100,000 bucks a year.
Yeah. And then you will feel...
It really depends on having a family or not.
Yes,
it
sure.
really depends how everything is like organized. But I think, I mean, more is always more, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think then you don't have to worry about it. And I think that is probably the main thing, not to worry about it.
Yeah.
And I think that is the main thing about money. You have to earn as much until it's not a topic anymore. And when it's a topic, like every day, or when you have to do a podcast about it, then it's then you probably don't make enough money, you know?
Yeah.
I think it depends for me. I feel like I have enough money if I can pay my necessary expenses, like the insurance, the housing, blah, blah, blah. But then enough for the work I'm doing, that's different. Like if I work 110% and or pay myself a salary that others get for a 20% job, for example, I would say it's not enough that I'm getting.
Yeah, fairness again. Eh?
Fairness is important for me. Appreciation is important for me. And then how much do I need to earn in order to feel appreciated or fair?
Yeah.
In a way. I think it's a different number. But I also feel like once I can pay my stuff and love the work I'm doing. I know my dad always says, you should actually pay for the work you get to do. On the places you get to be. Like, you could look at it like this, yeah. After I sent him a picture of doing a workshop on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
But how much do you think is enough?
I think I just came to my mind how much is enough. Like, not necessarily you came then with like a concrete number in terms of a month. Like sometimes I think it will, like, this is a trick. Money is a trick. So it will never be enough, kind of. Like, there is always an opportunity. Also, it depends on how you look at it. Is it something, again, I think also my way of spending it would change the more I make. So I would probably spend it, like, I already see that now. I spend it on some projects with like sustainable impact and stuff like that. And I think this percentage would hopefully increase if I'm a good human being. We'll see that when I make more. And also, it's hard to say because we have a company, so a lot of our expenses, like, yes, we pay ourselves less salary, but then again, we also spend a lot over the company. All fair and according to tax regulations.
All legal.
All legal.
You asked before what my fears were regarding money. Were you thinking of fears you have?
Yeah, I have a lot of, like, I have a fear of not being treated fairly. I think that is like, I have the dark side of it. So and I don't like this about myself, but I watch people around me, like, whether they treat me fairly, and it's highly subjective, and if they never pay or something, that is a fear. Like, to talk about this then. It's like, hey, I don't feel we're like kind of even, so and I think...
But you do it.
Sorry?
You're one of the very few people who then says, like, guys, I just saw that,
Yeah.
And I think that we have a topic there and we have to discuss that quickly.
Well, maybe I've done that,
You've
and I'm
done that?
happy that I did it, but I've oftentimes suppressed it. And
Of course, and you had like a full-on red face and you felt really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like clearly we were in that office here. I clearly remember that. But I think it's
I remember.
it's very cool that you actually like that you stand up for yourself in that moment and say like we have a topic there because many people are really ashamed to talk about money, and if they like if someone like owes them something, then they can't say it like, dude, you're actually owing me some money. And, it's not okay, and I would like to have that. Or I think that is really difficult.
Why is money such a taboo topic, especially in Germany and Switzerland?
Yeah.
People also in Germany, they don't really talk about how much money, like they don't talk about it within the company, even how much people get in the same position, for example. They could get different amounts of money, but they would never know because they don't talk about it. I feel like in Switzerland it's also some kind of taboo topic to talk about money and how much you earn. And
I think whenever people start talking about money, then they feel bad.
It's an uncomfortable
because one like
topic kind
of. So there are like 100,000 ways of how to measure how much you actually earn, because like there are so many different systems. And then so the number I said before could mean for one like, are you fucking kidding me? That's so little. And for another person, are you fucking kidding me? That's so much, you know? Because if you're an entrepreneur, you have like different expenses, calculations in the background and stuff like that. And I think also like I have a lot of friends who like working in the corporate environment. And if we compare us to them money-wise, then it's like the easiest way to get really, really upset and very unhappy, you know? Like, I'm working more. I don't know. I'm working also a lot. And
we're also
I'm having a lot of responsibility and doing cool project. How is that possible that they earn like 50% more than I do? And that's just unfair. And if they look at you, then they say like, yeah, that's so unfair. Of course, I'm earning a lot of money, but you know, I have shitty projects. And so if 5 people are getting together talking about money and what they do, you have 5 unhappy people because they look at the other person and say like, this is bullshit, you know? I should also do this. I also want that. And then you just look at the other person and see like what they have.
So it's going into comparing. Whenever you talk about money, oftentimes it goes into a comparison, and it's a lot of connected, as you said, with self-worth. So you're worth more or you're worth less with money. And I think we're living in a time where that actually slowly changes. A lot of people already, like since I don't know many people who work really 100% from our generation, or really 100. Like there's from my. I remember watching that with my colleagues from the masters, that when they graduated, a lot of people only worked 80% and stuff like that. So there seems to be this trend that it's not the definition. And I also think we are in such a lucky country once again that people are already on this top level of the Maslow pyramid of self-realization. There is a lot of talk about work-life balance and stuff like that. So it's
we are very lucky also. I mean, there's a lot of people losing their jobs during the pandemic and stuff like that. And still so happy to see that we're living in Switzerland.
But we got hit hard, you know?
Yeah. But I mean, number-wise for the corona numbers and stuff, but still there's some kind of safety net, like you said. Like you're not going to die if you lose your job. For example, it is terrible, and I don't want to speak for the people or saying it's not bad or anything. It's just that I know there's a safety net, and I think it's a big privilege to be in a country like this.
And again, anyways, but like there is so many people still that live in this wonderful rich country that sit behind a desk doing a job they don't enjoy doing because they think they will not survive otherwise. And like I've been in this place where I felt like, oh no, I have to do it. I have to do it. Like I have this and this responsibility. And I cannot imagine for a family mom or family father who said like, fuck, no, but I need to make this money. So I completely understand those scenarios. But for every person who's afraid of letting go of this thing and not making it the main priority, there is somebody else who has proven that it's working. Like I've seen, like we had this conversation quite a lot with our master's students. Like, but what if you have a family, you know? And then there were also students who said, well, but I have a family and kind of works. And then we kind of Googled, you know, of people who combined a lifestyle that they truly enjoyed with having a family. And it works. Like there's people sailing around the world, having a remote business and somehow making it work with 2 kids. So it's always, that's why I say money is a thought, or everything. Also our limitations is a thought. It's not real. And it's hard to describe what I mean by that, but it's like I mean, of course, the banknote kind of exists, but as you said, your relationship, your thoughts about it's different. Somebody sees $100, and 100 people would see 100 different things when they see 100 Swiss francs, you know, or $100 or something. Somebody sees, as you said, something they hate. They're like, "Fuck, this is why my marriage ended," and somebody else has said like, oh, this is like the first 100 this reminds me of the first $100 I got from my first client. So it's money is a very subjective thing, and that's why I asked you, what does money mean to you, because it's kind of interesting to hear if it would be completely different, but now it's kind of boring the same. But
it's the mindset that changes around it.
I think what is also interesting, like the more you have, the less important it is for you, and the less you also don't have to show it, like that money thing, you know.
I think that's highly subjective. I think there's a lot of people who have a lot of money who are only stressed about that.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
What very specific example. Sorry about that, but very specific example. I just walked. A friend of mine became a father, and we visited the baby for the first time, and we walked through this neighborhood, and he showed me, look, this house is empty, this house is empty. I was like, why are they empty? And they're like, the gardens are made perfectly well, so nobody knows that they're kind of empty, but they are empty. And the reason why they're empty is because of fights of rich families who are fighting about the inheritance of that thing. So even though they maybe have more than enough subjectively seen, whatever that means to us or them, they have even like the whole conversation right now, like whole family split up because of, so the impact or the scarcity mindset is so big that nobody could say, fuck it, you know? I keep the house, it's fine.
I want to keep the friendship, or I want to keep the family.
So I think the impact, like it really depends on each individual. And I've seen quote unquote very poor people through our travels, also through Africa and Kenya, Ethiopia. We've seen people who have like a completely different lifestyle than we have, and like just money is non-existent, but man, are like they're vibrating with life, full of life. Compared to here, like we came back home to Switzerland, we're like, oh, this is so quiet. We talked about so quiet here. Like,
nobody's on the streets.
It's like, and the people are laughing, and like also I remember Costa Rica where every morning there was salsa dancing and people like were dancing. Of course, they also have to. I'm not romanticizing not having cash, but nevertheless, it's a loose relationship with happiness. I would say in the best. It's not the main. And nevertheless, I think we should work towards where the whole world has a equal chance of opportunity, all that stuff. But nevertheless, for each individual, for me, it's useful to know that my mind would make up a lot of other challenges, as I know my mind, even if I would get gifted like 2 million Swiss francs, and I was like, here you go. I will probably feel happy for a little while, and then other worries will come. Oh, how much should I donate? How much should I spend? How are my friends looking at me? You know, like all that stuff. Are they really my friends? All that stuff.
What if I lose it? What should I do now?
exactly.
What should I achieve?
It's the what others think of it or of me. This is the biggest struggle I still have in
With
our
money.
business. Yeah, with money, because like knowing or putting a number on how much my time and my skills and my energy is worth when we send out offers to our clients, for example. It's so tough for me sometimes to do. Or in the beginning, especially now, it's a little bit better. But in the beginning, or when I was self-employed before that, when I was just working on my own, I never knew how much money I could charge. What is fair to charge? What is not fair? Stuff like that. So still, that's the topic. And I think a lot of people who start their own business have similar experience of like the first invoice they sent out maybe was something like that.
I had exactly the same what you described now at the beginning, and then at some point when I had like so many discussions with my friends who also started their own businesses about like daily rates, until once I sat down and I made a file and I just wrote down like, okay, how many days a year are you gonna work? So, and how many are chargeable, and how much are you actually working to have a chargeable day? So I just calculated like everything down. I put everything in an Excel list, and then I said like, okay, for the work I'm doing, how much should you actually earn per year?
Yeah.
And then with that Excel, like a number popped out at the end.
It's such a Daniel way to
It's
do
a
it.
really Daniel way to like to
I like
analyze
it.
it. And then like a proper number came out. And then I felt good about that. So with that, I just could say like, okay, I have all those costs. I'm very lean these days. Then I have those, that, and then I'm working like 50 hours a week or 40 hours a week. I don't know. And this is the number at the beginning and this is the number at the end. And that just gave me like quite a good feeling. And then I realized like you can't work for $1,000 a day, you know? You can, but then like if you calculate like everything, it's not worth it, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And maybe to translate that for people who are not working in consulting or maybe are outside of Switzerland, but what you need to understand is like you need to write offers. Nobody pays you to write offers. You need to have a lot of conversations with clients. You have all this stuff that is going around. Then you actually having a chargeable day, and you do a lot of work for free. A lot of work.
That's true.
And that's fine for me. I mean, that's what I enjoy in this business, that you don't have to charge everything. And with some projects, I mean, we do some stuff for free, and we do some stuff that is very well paid, and everything in between. And I think that's also completely fine. But I love you're obviously as a intuitive, feeling-based guy. Never done that, but I think it's true. If you really look at the full costs, it's like oftentimes people, they hear our daily rates from outside, and they're like, "Wow, that's awesome!
You must be filthy rich, you know?
Yeah.
So you're working 200 days a year, and then they multiply your daily rate with the 200 days a year.
Yeah.
And then like
no,
wow, you
no.
must be, you know, it's like, that's crazy.
And in the end, if I look at their salary, they mostly have a bigger number.
They always have a bigger number than we do.
Maybe we can share some things that help us dealing with our own personal money relationship with our audience. I can give an example. When I have to spend money on something like food, or if the laptop breaks down and I need to repair it, or something important, invoice or taxes, or or something comes in, then I always think like, I mean, I pay it, and then I try not to think about it too much, but then I'm always thinking for 1 second, like, don't worry, Zina, it's gonna come back to you in one way or another. Because I feel like money is also, of course, it's a concept of thoughts and made up, but also I feel like it's something that's flowing around and it's just sometimes coming to me and sometimes I have to send it away. So that's something I'm trying to remind me, like, okay, Sina, it's going to come back to you at some point. And then a friend of mine said to me, what also helps me, she was saying, like, you know, there's so much money around you. It's not in your bank account just yet, but the money is out there. You just need to do stuff. You're also happy to do things you enjoy doing. And at some point, money's going to come your way also. It sounds so woo-woo, kind of like, oh yeah, just send money my way. But if you do stuff you enjoy doing, like we do in our company, we attract clients that also like the way we work. And then we can have more projects with them, for example.
I just thought of our video editor. Can you put dollar signs in our eyes right now? I don't know why, just so we don't forget. Now there's dollar signs. If Bogdan actually listened to the podcast, there will be dollar signs. If not, we will not. Bogdan. By the way, he's awesome. If you guys ever want to get a great video editor, just reach out to us. We'll send you his contact details.
Right. And if you put in the effort, there's always ways to make money.
Yeah, that's true.
You can start an online t-shirt print business or whatever it's going to be. You can do small services and make little amounts of money in the beginning and then scale up. I feel like always when people complain, like, oh, I don't have enough money, I will never have enough money to travel. I don't know. I secretly judge sometimes, to be honest, and think, no, you just haven't tried to make money. Kind of like very judgy from my side. But just knowing there's always ways to make money kind of relaxes me.
Yeah.
If everything goes wrong, I can still do something, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you deal, or do you have any advice?
I have I learned that once, I don't know how many years ago, and I don't know from whom, but there's like a clear differentiation between spending money and investing money for me. And that sounds like very financial blah blah blah, but it's really cool. So if I just spend money, I think that's absolutely fine for me, and I like spending money. I like buying stuff, you know,
You like a good wine.
I like good wine. I like shit tons of like sports gear. Technical stuff. I have everything there. And for example, when I buy a camera for our business, then it's not spending, then it's investing. And I also had to learn that when I got my own company, that I actually have to invest my money, not just like keeping it, investing it to get new stuff, you know, to get new businesses, to try out new stuff. And then you have to spend like something here and something there. And investing is never bad. And spending is, sometimes very cool because it's for yourself, but just spending shit that doesn't bring you like anything, you know. And then it's like you get to a point where you just buy stuff. You go like on Zalando or Amazon or Galaxus, and then you just buy some shit you actually don't really need, and then you just fill up your place with a lot of bullshit, and that is not investing, you know. Just think about those two things. I really like that.
But if I spend money on a massage, for example, I'm investing in my health.
Yeah.
And the healthier I feel, the better my work, maybe.
Exactly.
So it could be an investment. Yeah, I see your point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, I could give a lot of practical, like I always love having just in terms of also practical, like how do I actually, even if it's a thought, but how do I keep the money? So there's one thing you can make more, but you can also save, like having low fixed costs. Like there is, in Switzerland, there is no rational reason you can easily survive without a car in most life scenarios. And I think oftentimes people create fixed cost traps for them because they think they need to make a good impression and not because they truly enjoy it. I'm not talking about, and actually you can have cheap places that are great. think I proved that point. I
I
really
like my place also.
Yeah,
it's
your
very
point.
small,
Yeah, it's true.
very cheap.
Yeah.
I like our place as well.
Yeah.
Very small, very
Dania
cheap.
is the nicest place.
So cheap. We could probably.
And you can
we
share,
couldn't even afford to get it. No.
but you can share the costs.
Yeah,
And
it's also a different
doable.
story.
And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
invest in your well-being in that.
Yeah, and you have a
enjoy
garden
being-
outside and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's nice. But nevertheless, it's not like so. It
Having
really
low fixed costs could be a way to save money.
exactly, and also seeing, as you said, like also deciding on which areas it is important to you. So travel. I spend a lot of money on travel.
Me too.
A lot. I mean, compared to, but then again within that, I hack it. So I really look for the cheapest flights, and I really take some. But I also enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it. But I enjoy looking
I really
for deals.
enjoys it. He could sit on the beach with
that's terrible,
a
actually.
nice alcohol-free cocktail in his hands and
I never
have
drink
the
alcohol.
sand between his toes, and life is amazing. He would be looking up the hotels for the next week. Just for fun.
Yeah. For shits
And he
giggles.
always finds great deals. I love that you're doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But it's
It's-
like you are so passionate about this that
That I can never enjoy the
You-
place I'm actually at.
But
Yes.
but it freaks me out
No.
if people don't do it. I have many people around me who
Yeah,
just
yeah.
who, like, they know that they spend hundreds of Swiss francs too much for like insurances or like for a gadget they bought, and they were just a little bit too lazy
Yeah.
to quickly look it up
Yeah.
and buy it like somewhere else.
Like you with your Spotify and Netflix subscriptions.
Yeah, but you know that's the
Where
other
I'm like,
thing.
just install a VPN and get it.
But
No,
if you
that's
need
what
any
we-
advice on how to find good deals,
Yeah, then go
you
to
can
Kai.
I know
go
all
to
the
Kai.
deals.
He knows
Yes,
all
he
the
knows all the
deals.
hacks, and it's very
It's
useful.
my most attractive quality, I think.
Yeah.
They call me the deal finder. Deal finder. That sounds quite good. Deal finder. Yeah, but again, like finding good deals, I think, is also like if you enjoy it, do it. Also, investing is really easy nowadays. I think we already talked in the episode Gadgets That Changed Our Lives a little bit about it, but like there is good investment ways of investing in funds like True Wealth or VIAC, the app that you can have like kind of your money invested without having to think too much about it. And you just I always have like a fixed amount that just goes away, and it's not my money even. Like in my mindset, that's a really good trick. It's not my money. And I always feel like I'm broke, but actually I'm not, because I just save. And so, but it's really good. Once it's gone, and you don't want to stop your monthly. You feel really shitty if you stop like your monthly thing, because you're like, no, I want to like afford this now. I'm not doing this. So I rather go into minus on my bank account, which is in short term stupid, but nevertheless, the small amount I maybe have to pay on withdrawal fee still is relatively low to what I make by investing it somewhere else.
It's just another trick.
Oh, I love it. I love the tricks. Yeah.
Another trick is like buy properly, or otherwise
Good
you're gonna
quality,
good
kind of?
quality. Just get like, it doesn't have to be the most expensive one, but buy some proper shit, and you will have like things for years, and you actually enjoy it. And I do it because I think at the end it makes me more happy. It might be cheaper. I'm not sure about that. Might be cheaper. And it's definitely better for the environment. But it's possible if you like buy a proper chair to have like a chair like for the next 20 or 30 years, because it's like handmade out of wood, and it was a cool design at the beginning, and you actually restore it like in 15 years because it's getting old, and then you still have it, you know? And that's so cool. And for example, we have a lot of stuff at home which is old, which is properly old, and I really like that.
Yeah. Or buy used.
Yes.
I like that too.
Secondhand.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My ex couch that now had to go because it's just simply not comfortable. but it was really cool piece. Also was from
Did you sell it?
Yeah, I sold
Yes.
it. Yeah, of
See,
course.
you can sell this stuff.
I'm not
you
gonna
don't
throw
need.
like this stuff. I
Yeah,
always.
yeah. That's why I'm
it
asking,
takes you-
because we're talking about money.
Yeah. It takes you a little bit of effort, but I also put it on like the Swiss version of eBay, Ricardo, or yeah, used stuff. Whatever. Yeah, used stuff is good. I like it. And it's also better for the environment.
Nice.
Not like this Evian bottle. Sorry for that. But I think we should call it the podcast.
Let's call it a day.
All right.
Let's go make some money.
And then invest in some good quality chairs for our podcast.
Yeah, no,
studio.
like these
We're
ones.
sitting on the
They're
shittiest chairs.
so uncomfortable.
I always break
ones.
the one whenever I move
Really?
it. Yes, accidentally.
And
Well,
check out
thanks a lot.
our Skillshare courses, or maybe it's still a course by the time you're probably listening and the episode is just out. It's a Skillshare course. The link will be in the description about how you can increase your skills as a leader, as a collaborator, by being a good coach. So you get 2 weeks. Last episode I said a couple of months. It's actually not true. You get 2 weeks of free Skillshare. So it's a Skillshare course, and you can cancel at any time. So you can do it without paying anything. You can get that course for free, and you can contact us at on Instagram. You'll find us. We're still looking for a question. Please ask us a question.
We can put it in the comments, our Instagram and LinkedIn and all of that.
Yeah, you see that in the screen, right?
Yeah,
And
ask
on
us
YouTube.
questions. We're going to cover your topics and yeah,
Perfect.
See you in a
looking
week.
forward.
See you in a week, or not. Love you. Bye. Bye.
Awkward business. Awkward business. Podcast.
Live.